All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome in. I'm WCA3 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Leidy, as we are tracking a little bit of severe weather moving through parts of central Illinois here tonight. A warning that just got issued here in the past few minutes or so, and we're going to show that to you here. It does include the Springfield area, which is why we've got the Springfield camera up there. But now we can see on the Storm Tracker Doppler how we've got an area, a little line of storms coming in here, and you can see from kind of the New Berlin area down to Auburn where the storms are lifting off here to the north and to the east. Put a little bit of a loop on this where you can see how the general direction this is going to the north and east. Mainly, we're talking about severe thunderstorm winds of up to 60 miles per hour, 60, and maybe a little bit of hail as well. You can see there we're talking about Springfield. You're going to be getting in on this here pretty soon. The potential for gusty winds of up to 60 miles per hour is definitely a possibility as this lifts off here to the north and to the east. The National Weather Service has issued this warning for Cass, Menard, Morgan, and Sangamon County until 8:30 p.m. So we kind of back it out and show you kind of the wider view of this. So all this is lifting to the north and to the east. And so what we can do is put a little bit of a timeline on this for you, show you exactly where it may be headed. And essentially what we've got going on here is, some storms that are tapping into some energy that we've had today as a result of the warm conditions that we've had. Those warm conditions definitely bringing with it the energy that these storms can feed off of. So as we just kind of go on the leading edge of this thing and take it out here, again, it's moving about 45 miles an hour. Just to give you an idea of some of the places, Springfield here, it's going to be the next 7-8 minutes. You're going to get kind of the bulk of this coming into you. Mechanicsburg, 827, Mount Pulaski, 842, Booty, 847, maybe towards Warrensburg, and even Decatur. By about 9 o'clock tonight, you could be seeing some of this coming in here. I do think that there's going to be a general weakening trend with all of this. That weakening trend should help to kind of put an end to this as it works its way off here a little bit more to the east as it gets closer to, say, I-57. But as of right now, the largest threat here that we've got, essentially, you've got strong damaging winds. There have been a history of winds with this. So what I'm going to do is actually switch on here our storm reports. So you're going to see this. We're going to back this up and show you the storm reports of basically where things have already occurred with this. And you can see as this line came through down towards the St. Louis area, and we can do is we can ask the computer to tell us, okay, what was that report? And you can see thunderstorm wind gust, looks like 62 mile an hour gust as that line came through. And then some of this other activity, you can see that is far west central Illinois, also had some damage over there west of Mount Sterling, reporting some downed power lines. So that's kind of the history of this line of storms as it's moved through. So that's kind of what you can expect with this. Again, you're talking about mainly gusty winds, 60 mile an hour winds. You can kind of see some of the heavier stuff coming in Springfield right now. So let's go ahead and switch back over to our camera and see what it looks like in Springfield. Oh, I think we just saw a lightning strike there. Just barely saw that. That's our Flooring America camera in Springfield. Notice it bouncing around there a little bit there as well. Again, we are seeing just a small area of concern, and that is going to, currently be right there in Sangamon County where we could have some gusts up to around 60 miles per hour with this. If you're down near the Curran area, that's along I-72. Ooh, wow, we just saw a pretty good little lightning strike there. I'm going to pan our camera over just a little bit because that was a pretty good little cloud to ground lightning strike. You can see that's the Capitol there. And as we pan this just a little bit more to the right, I think we're going to see some more lightning. And that's what we've definitely seen quite a bit of with this so far has been the lightning with this. And then those strong winds and the heavy rainfall. That heaviest stuff it's going to come right into downtown Springfield here in the next few minutes or so. More than anything, you're looking at some fairly gusty winds. Even the radar is indicating maybe some 50, 55 mile an hour gust. So no surprise there. I know we've got a lot of people who are watching us here from other locations and maybe asking about your neck of the woods. And let me just tell you, here's a general good rule of thumb. Essentially, if I'm not talking about your area here, wow, look at that lightning strike. If I'm not talking about your area, then generally speaking, there's not any problem for your area. Boy, I think we even some of that lightning may have done some power outages there. I saw some lights seemingly go off, so I would be surprised if maybe lightning hit a power line or a transformer. But as I mentioned here before, a general rule of thumb is basically if we're not talking about your area, you're not under the gun, you're not under a threat, at least at this point. When we do start talking about your area, then obviously start paying a little bit closer attention and whatnot to things. So here's what we've got going on. I'm just keeping it on this camera view because we've had some really strong and very potent lightning strikes here that are showing up. So we're looking at Springfield here right now. Sangamon County, you are the one under the gun right there in the Springfield area as the lightning continues. It is in that area there where you're going to get pretty good little strong thunderstorm to roll through, especially there on the west side right now. The west side of Springfield, the southwest side of Springfield has kind of the heaviest here. I even think a little bit of hail is possible with this. And so we're going to switch things back over here to the radar view and get you right down in on our storm. Again, right now there's not a tornadic threat, but look at this little, see this guy right here, okay, where we've got that brighter red as we were talking about the current area and south of Archer. That general area there, let me just kind of point this out. So you've got that right there. That's going to be the strongest part of the storm. Might have a little hail. I can see a little bit of purple that's showing up there. So definitely be on the lookout in that area. And that's going to be lifting off through the northeast. That's going to come right over downtown Springfield, which is why I think we were getting such impressive shots from our Springfield camera, which we're going to go back to now. And watch this as it comes over the downtown area and the Capitol building there, as you can see. Lots of people here. And so what we'll do is we'll throw on here the chat overlay here for some of you, because this is where some of your messages can pop up and whatnot. No, here's the thing. Champaign is not under any kind of a warning. The only counties under a warning right now include Cass, Menard, Morgan, and Sangamon until 8:30 p.m. All of those areas there are currently under the warning, and really right over Sangamon County is going to be kind of the worst of it. We're starting to see that heavy rainfall come over. We're gonna lose our view here. You're essentially gonna see it's just a wall of rain, and we probably lose the visibility a little bit in the next few minutes, and you won't be able to see things as much as the lightning continues. So it's coming right over Springfield right now. So if you're up near Sherman, if you're near Riverton, if you are near Dawson, and then eventually maybe Mechanicsburg, you guys are all technically under the warning. Rochester as well on the southeastern side there along Highway 29. 29 coming in there, which meets up with 72 and with I-55. All of those areas there. You need to be just, this is not a tornado, okay? These are severe thunderstorm warned cells that we've got, but it is something that we want you to obviously pay attention to as we kind of zoom in here a little bit closer once again. So just to give you guys perspective, I mean, here's Champaign, there's Charleston, there's Decatur. So the only area right now of concern is over the Sangamon County area here right now, and we'll zoom right down in. It's right over Springfield. Some of the stronger winds with this, and what we can do is switch over to our velocity mode, which actually shows us the winds. And you see this kind of area right here. See these kind of brighter blues? That's going to be where you've got some of the strongest winds. And as a matter of fact, in that area there, that you're talking about maybe some 50, 60 mile an hour winds, a possibility. So that is coming in there on the southwest side. That's the strongest stuff, but this is now starting to kind of move off here right into the downtown area here as well. So let's switch back over to our camera view and show you what that looks like once again. If you're there in Springfield, you're going to get a pretty good little thunderstorm right now. Really good storm there. Again, the areas of concern right now continue to be right there. And look at that. You can see our visibility getting a little bit worse. Our camera shaking around a little bit more. And that storm is now rolling right down there. So if you know somebody that is over there, just, make sure you give them a little heads up. Hey, you might want to, head inside because, oh, wow, how about that lightning strike? Goodness. Boy, that was a cloud to ground lightning strike there, as you can see. That it was on the left side of your screen. My goodness, definitely seeing those strong storms kind of rolling into the area. So let's switch it back on over, and you can see what we've got in terms of our severe weather with this. This thing is moving off here to the northeast to kind of show you the progression of this. And what we'll do is we'll come in and shut off the warning box there, and you can kind of get an idea. So there it is as it moves across. Generally speaking, you're talking about, up near Mason City eventually, maybe up towards Lincoln. And this whole line is going to be pushing into Logan County here before too long. So that's the general progression that this is going. Is this going to make it over to, Decatur and whatnot? I mean, yeah, possibly. We are thinking that these storms are going to weaken a little bit, but right now there is still definitely that concern for those winds. And boy, that lightning as well. I'm just going to switch things. I'm going to switch the lightning on this. I have a feeling it's just going to cover up their screen when I switch this on, but here it comes. We're going to show the lightning strikes here over the last 15 minutes or so, and you can see there we go. So there's all your lightning. So each one of those little guys shows the lightning strikes there. And look at that, right over the downtown area there. You're seeing those lightning strikes show up. Very potent thunderstorm that is moving in. So you've got, probably an area there that is going to see not just the wind threat with this of 60 miles an hour, but I've seen a ton of CG, cloud to ground lightning strikes that are showing up with this. So again, if you're out there, and there we go again, there you can see now the rain that is taken over our camera. So you can see that the storm is over the downtown area there and over the Capitol, and look at our camera shaking even more. And that storm definitely packing some winds within it. According to the radar there, I think that we're looking at, some 60 mile an hour gusts. Definitely some 60 mile an hour gusts are right there over Springfield. Would not be the least bit surprised if we catch some power outages with this over Springfield, because there are some winds there, according to radar, that are showing exactly that. So if you are down the line there, if you're kind of wondering what's next, Sherman, and then up near Williamsville, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep kind of panning our camera a little bit more there to the north and to the east. And so we can kind of catch, maybe catch a little bit more views of that lightning and whatnot, as long as we still have control. And so far we do. Get it past that little pole there. And so now we're kind of looking off there a little bit more to the north and to the east. But definitely a strong storm there as it rolls through the capital city, the capital of Illinois. Currently under a severe thunderstorm warning, as the strongest part of that cell kind of moves right over the downtown area. So we'll switch it back over to radar right now. I've not had any reports. Looks like they just continued the severe thunderstorm warning. We'll read that off to you as we zoom back down. Again, look at this. Nothing in Champaign, nothing in Decatur right now. The only area that we're watching is out here along I-55. And the highest concern right over Sangamon County. And this goes all the way down to, Pawnee. There's some stronger stuff there that's trying to come into Christian County. And there's a little guy there west of Kincaid along 104. So lifting off to the north there. And then Highway 29 coming out there of Christian County. And then heading into Sangamon County there as well. You can see the airport right over the airport, seeing that pretty good little storm there. Coming into Grandview, and actually the updated radar image there, now pushing it over the airport with the heaviest stuff now in the northern portion of Sangamon County and near Sherman and the Green Acres area, and then you got Riverton over there as well. But there are some definite winds with this. And let's switch back over to our camera. That is bearing the brunt of this right now. Continues to bounce around quite a bit. but just a lot of lightning. I mean, there's just a ton of lightning showing up here with this, as you can see, and we're getting confirmation from some of our viewers and whatnot that we've got that lightning that is out there. So once again, good rule of thumb, we're not looking at any kind of tornado outbreak with any of this here. I want to encourage, continue to stress that here. The tornado threat extremely low, but the damaging winds with this are fairly high. We've got some 60-mile-an-hour gusts that are definitely showing up with this, and maybe even some small hail in there, but winds are the biggest thing. The tornado threat with this is low. But boy, look out for that lightning, because the lightning has been intense with this, as we've continued to show you on our Flooring America camera there in Springfield. So there goes the storm moving across the city here right now. If you are in, here's the thing, we're going to see if they can continue this into, say, Logan County as it moves closer to Lincoln. And of course, they're going to know, because that's where the Weather Service is. They've got an eye on that, and they'll see. They're going to probably kind of see what any kind of reports are coming into us of, if anything's come, as far as any damage goes. I would not be surprised if there's some tree branches down and whatnot, because I still think that we're looking at some pretty good winds associated with this line as it moves through. Isolated in nature, so isolated that, again, as we show you this, and I'm going to put the wide view and then put the loop on this. So notice where we've got some of the brighter colors here. So this is the direction that we're going. And so you can see where Champaign is. So this line is expected to weaken. It's going to run out of energy. It's going to run out of the instability. So I don't think we're going to see as big of a threat closer to I-57. I think that you definitely have more of a threat right now along I-55. And as we've kind of been mentioning there, from northern Sangamon County and eventually, parts of maybe even northwestern Christian County will be watching there towards Edinburgh. But right now that warning stops right about Mechanicsburg and the Sherman area. But we'll see what the Weather Service decides to do, if they carry this warning a little bit more to the north. Have not seen reports. If anybody is out there, let us know. Let us know if you've seen anything there in Springfield, if you've had any kind of damage, any trees down, power outages. You guys are our eyes and ears to that area. But right now, as you can see, that storm now coming into the northeastern portion of Sangamon County, the strongest winds. And so what I'm going to do here again is switch over to our velocity. Allows us to see the winds. And what we're looking at essentially is kind of some of those brighter colors. So those brighter blues that show up, those are going to be the strongest of the winds as they come through right in the middle of Springfield right now and lifting there to the north and east. What we look for sometimes these little pockets of brighter colors. For example, you see that right there? I'll point it out. So that right there, see that little brighter color? So that there's kind of south of Spalding there and right along Highway 54, east of I-55 and north of 72. So that's going to be just west of Riverton. So maybe some stronger winds that the radar is sampling in that area, which would tell us, I think maybe that's where you'd have some 60-mile-an-hour winds and maybe a little bit of damage that could occur in that area. So a ton of lightning you're looking at with this. You're looking at these little pockets of potential gusty winds, and you definitely get quite a bit of it here. You can see there's brighter colors here. So this is going to be, so there's the Capitol, that's right there. So we, as our camera points towards that, but right over there. So let's switch back over to our camera view again, see if we're seeing anything different. Not a whole lot as the storm is passing through the area. But what we're continuing to see are winds that, they're still pretty strong in there. And we'll come back over, switch to the radar once again. And this is the area we're going to watch. So far, that warning has not been carried any more to the north and to the east. So it's still in effect until 8:30 p.m. Warning until 8:30 p.m. And we'll see if areas like Mount Pulaski need to be on the lookout, and then eventually kind of Lincoln. So obviously there's the Doppler radar. It's the radar scanning from the National Weather Service right there in central Logan County. And that's what's showing us all of these beautiful colors and whatnot on the screen. So what we've got are, you know, some sporadic reports probably of some power that may be out. And here's the thing, that could be from a few different things, because as I was looking at this, boy, the lightning strikes that were showing up were very prominent. And so a lot of cloud to ground. So, you know, the lightning could have hit the power lines. It could have hit, you know, or maybe hit a tree fell on a power line. But there are definitely some winds here. So right along I-55, right at the I-55-72 interchange, and now moving to the northeast. That is the bulk of the worst of our storms. And so we need to be watching that area closely. I know a lot of people said that they've seen a lot of lightning. The lightning has been, you know, very, very prominent. It has been frequent. And what we'll do is I'm going to switch that on. And you can see there's all of our lightning strikes that continue to show up. I'll take you back full screen. And you can see right over the downtown area, now on the eastern half there of Sangamon County, and you get east of I-55. And that whole area there definitely just lighting up the sky with our storms coming in. As a matter of fact, you probably could even see that from Decatur. So I may try to punch up our Decatur camera and see what it's showing us, try to point it out to the west, because we'll probably be able to see some of the lightning strikes showing up with those storms, even though they're a good distance away. If you are in Decatur, you know, this line is going to, you know, potentially, you know, clip parts of Macon County here tonight. Whether or not it is going to be as strong as what it was earlier, that is still yet to be determined. We do think that a general weakening trend with this is probably going to occur as these storms kind of run out of the energy, the instability that they need to feed off of, especially at this time of night, that you kind of lose that a little bit. So hopefully that is the case, but as of right now, these storms are still packing a punch there in Sangamon County, a lot of lightning. I've heard a lot of people again mentioning kind of some of that. We appreciate your guys' reports. Let us know what you are seeing in your area. That always helps us out to determine, you know, if things are still rocking and rolling pretty good or not. So here is a look at all of the you know, the lightning with this. We were showing you earlier some of the heavier little pockets of wind, and we're still seeing that kind of a broad area there. And here's the thing, if you're along I-72 right now, probably not a fun drive. That drive between Illiopolis and Mechanicsburg there is going to get a little loud here, because all of that is going to be moving off to the north and east. So let me just kind of, I'll put a short loop. This is a loop of only the past 15 minutes, so it kind of gives you an idea of where this is going. So again, this thing is going to come right into Logan County. Hold on here, just getting a report. 34 mile an hour. Yeah, lots of CG, lots of cloud to ground lightning strikes. That's a report that came in from law enforcement over there in Sangamon County. So as I was, you know, mentioning there, and we saw it on our camera, just a ton of lightning strikes with this. So there's Mechanicsburg. You're kind of next. This comes into the Williamsville area, the extreme northeastern portion of Sangamon County. On I-55, you're seeing that. But then down the line, we're looking there at Mount Pulaski, Highway 54 that comes into Logan County. And we'll see that. But I think as I kind of look at this, I'm seeing some of the strongest stuff probably coming in there to, like I said, Williamsville. And then definitely some heavy rainfall from the Breckenridge area and right into Mechanicsburg in the next few minutes. This puppy is going to be right on top of you guys. So definitely make sure you guys are taking cover. This is not a tornadic storm. We are not seeing, let me stress, not seeing rotation within this. We are seeing the gusty winds, those very strong winds within our storms, and that's exactly what we are seeing. If we, you know, if there was any kind of a severe weather or a tornadic threat, we of course would let you know, but we're just not seeing that. I'm just not as concerned about that. But boy, a lot of lightning and a lot of strong wind activity possible with this. So let's kind of switch back here. Let's see what our camera looks like now in Springfield, because the worst of it has obviously passed through. Let me take the camera and we will pan it around a little bit. We'll point it back towards the Capitol there, and see if we see any outages or see any dark spots there. Boy, we definitely saw a bright lightning strike that showed up when we were doing our broadcast here. Still, things look pretty normal down there, the normal view that we normally get, but still, I think that there's definitely those outages. There's definitely maybe a tree or two down or a branch or two down, just based upon kind of what we've seen on radar. So they've actually allowed the warning to expire here, and it's actually early. So they've essentially canceled the warning. So what they're saying is, with this, the severe thunderstorm warning for Menard, Sangamon, and East Central Cass counties will expire at 8:30. The storms which prompted the warning have weakened below severe limits and have exited the warned area. Therefore, the warning will be allowed to expire. However, gusty winds and heavy rain are still possible with these thunderstorms. So that warning no longer in effect, and it looks like they're not going to carry this warning further to the north and east into Logan County or into Christian County there as well. So I don't know if you're watching down around Taylorville, Kincaid, Edinburgh, you definitely have some lightning. You're going to have some heavy rainfall. Right now, there is not a severe weather threat for you. Again, as many of you start to pop on here asking, what about my area? It is always the number one question. What about my city, town, village? And we cover about 362 of those city, towns, and villages. It would be impossible to name every single one of them, but here's what I can tell you. As we look at things, as they stand here right now, we don't have a huge threat for anything severe along I-57. So Champaign, okay, we're not seeing a big threat for you. We're not seeing a big threat for Tuscola, even Clinton, even Decatur. Okay, we think that this line here is going to continue to weaken, which is why they've decided not to reissue a new severe thunderstorm warning down the line. So the threat level is most likely going to weaken because the energy, these storms need to tap into a key ingredient called instability. You're lacking that. We lose that at nighttime. It's the sun. The sun is gone, and so we're not getting that same heating and energy, and so there's not a big threat. So I know some of you are asking, Champaign and Danville and da-da-da-da-da and so on and so forth. Look how far away these storms are, okay? Let me just show you this, okay? Right now, the storms that some of you are asking about for maybe Champaign or Urbana are 70 miles away. That would be, if these storms are moving at 70 miles an hour, it would take an hour to get here. And I don't see those storms sustaining themselves and being that strong again here in an hour. But the more immediate area that we're watching is this line here that is weakening because they've opted not to continue that severe thunderstorm warning, which technically expires here in about 45 seconds, and that box will pop off there, but they have not carried that over. Instead, what they've done is issued kind of, it's the step below a severe thunderstorm warning, and that is a significant weather advisory. So that is what they like to call it, is a significant weather advisory. And so what that basically means is, okay, we're not quite to the criteria of 58-mile-an-hour winds and 1-inch size hail, but we are still, a decent thunderstorm, some good lightning, maybe gusty winds of 50 to 55-mile-per-hour winds. So they've actually issued that for a large area. It's going to be for northeastern Menard, all of Logan, northeastern Christian. So there goes the warning. Northeastern Sangamon, western DeWitt, southern Tazewell, and southwestern McLean County, eastern Mason, and northwestern Macon counties. So it's this big area of, again, significant weather advisory. It's a storm, essentially, but not to the severe criteria, which you must meet of 58 miles an hour and 1-inch size hail. So we'll still just kind of watch this and see here. I'm going to put this, here's what we'll do. Let's put a loop on this. You kind of see where it's going. And what I'm also going to do next is we'll draw a line along this. It will kind of show some of the cities. So here we go. Let's take you back full screen. Now watch here. We will time this out. We'll just go along the lead. Again, none of this is severe right now. We'll time this out with a 45 mile per hour movement. And then here are your times of arrival for various locations like Mount Pulaski, 843, Warrensburg, 854, Decatur, 901, the airport there at 907. Maybe down the line, McLean County, Hayworth, there's Allerton Park, 9:24 p.m. So that just kind of gives you an idea of where this whole line is going, albeit weakening as it does so, because there are currently no more warnings in effect, and we are seeing somewhat of a weakening trend with it. So the Weather Service has not opted to continue that warning anymore to the east. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a fun drive near Dawson and Mechanicsburg and eventually Illiopolis right now. You're going to see some really heavy rainfall. And as I mentioned before, the lightning with this has been very intense as well. So tons of lightning, and then your heavy rainfall and maybe some 50 mile an hour wind gusts. That's all we're seeing here right now, okay? So no longer do we have any warnings in effect. Here's the big wide view of things. There's Decatur, there's Champaign, there's Danville, Shelbyville, there's Monticello. So none of those areas currently under the gun, okay? We think that this is going to continue to weaken, but I want to stress to you, I wouldn't be just, hanging out outside and whatnot if you're, close to any of these storms, because they have definitely been showing some big-time lightning. And there's your lightning, just to give you an idea. Looks like, your most intense lightning is right there along I-72 between Riverton and Mechanicsburg right now. Those are the most recent strikes. So the brighter white little icons there, that's like, or the most recent. Actually, what I can do lightning over the past 5 minutes. So these are lightning strikes only over the past 5 minutes, and you can see that concentrated area here that is showing up just west of Mechanicsburg. That's where you've got a lot of that lightning. So if you're in that area, you're probably seeing that lightning there. But that's just the past 5 minutes. Those are the most recent strikes. We could even do the last 3 minutes. So even in the last 3 minutes, that's where your lightning is. And that, lines up with the bright colors. We talk about the bright colors on the radar, which indicate, the heaviest part of the storm, and that's exactly where that is. So if you're down the line here in, Mount Pulaski, into southern portions of Logan County, you're going to get a pretty good little storm. Even northwestern portions there of Christian County. Right now, Macon County there, Decatur, okay, you're probably going to get some rain here before too long, but I think the severe weather threat is winding down, and we are not going to be seeing any kind of major threat in terms of widespread severe weather through tonight. The severe weather threat is going to be waning over the next half an hour or so. We'll see an end to that severe weather. And again, if you are out there tonight, you're curious about what to expect, you can download our WCA3 weather app. So our weather app has the radar on there. It also alerts you of any warnings that could get issued. So you can pop on there and it'll tell you. Anytime there are warnings in the area too, we stream. We're streaming on the app right now. We stream on our Facebook pages. So all of that, we're always on here to let you guys know what to expect. So again, right now, no more warnings are in effect. We'll come back over here and switch it back to the radar view, and we'll maybe just take a little peek at some of our cameras, see if we're seeing anything. So we're back to Springfield. So again, things have calmed down considerably from 15 minutes ago. We'll go from that camera over to our Decatur camera, and while there's nothing there, and I'd say actually what I may do is I'm seeing some flashing lights over there. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. So some flashing lights down there, and I will take our camera. I doubt we're going to be able to see anything. It's still kind of far away, but I'm just kind of seeing that here. And we've got rain, so that's going to make it even harder to see anything. But, maybe there could be a tree down. And bear with me here as we kind of navigate our camera system here just to Yeah, it's going to be kind of impossible to do. There we go. It's a little bit better. So it looks like maybe something going on there, kind of north there of the Capitol. Looks like some flashing lights there, those red and blue lights. So that, maybe a tree down, maybe a power line down. So I would not be surprised. It does kind of look a little darker in that area, doesn't it? So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe there is, some damage, or maybe some, like I said, some power lines that are down. So that zoomed in there on our camera. Okay, and I told you I was going to switch over to our Decatur camera, so I'll do that next. And see if we see anything, because we're going to be basically looking off to the west with those storms. And we're seeing less lightning, so, maybe not even a really good chance to even see some lightning. So Decatur, you are calm right now. You may catch a little bit of rain here before too long. But there are definitely no more warnings. Even the radar signatures aren't looking as impressive as they once did. I don't even think the winds are not showing up as strong, especially in Sangamon County. There may be some winds up there into Logan County, so we'll switch you back over to that. Again, we're just doing some extra coverage here for you, even though there are no warnings left. So that storm is about to go over the Lincoln Weather Service office. They're going to know real quick what that wind is, if there are any winds located there. So from Elkhart down to the Broadwell area. So there's the Weather Service, Lincoln. This is kind of the area of, as I was mentioning earlier, we look for those brighter areas. So there are a few little brighter areas showing up there near Broadwell. See that little area right there. So that's going to be east of 55 and south of Broadwell. So then there's still some of that activity there, showing some of the stronger winds and coming into Chatham area there. But I want to continue to stress the severe weather threat is fairly low for this region, so we are not too concerned with a continuing severe weather threat, as things should start to weaken off here a little bit more. So what we're probably going to do is start to wrap up our coverage. We appreciate everybody who jumped on to let us know of anything in reports. If you've got any reports of anything, we'll go ahead and pass that along to us. You can do that either via our Facebook page or Twitter or on any of our, let's see here. Oh, it looks like the Lincoln. We want to switch back on our Lincoln Weather Service radar. Let me do that here real quick. Things switched off there. There we go. So again, you can still kind of see this area here coming into northwest or southwestern Logan County. Here's just a bunch of heavy rainfall now. And even let's try the lightning one more time and see if we're seeing much. We'll switch just to the past 3 minutes, and look at that. Right? We haven't even had any lightning in the past 3 minutes. So the lightning is getting less. I'm seeing less of those reds and yellows, and this is obviously showing right up with what we were initially thinking, that the severe weather threat would be starting to fade away. So we had just a little bit of excitement there, and coming to an end. Here's the wider, let's take you back 3 hours ago, and you can kind of see look how there was way more in the way of red. I'll take the lightning off so you can see the colors a little bit better. But you can see that there was way more red out there as this was over near Quincy. And a little bit of an uptick there as it came into Sangamon County. But even, look how, we once had that red area, and now it is way more of kind of the yellows and maybe some oranges in there, but we're not seeing as much of the red. And the brighter color there, you can see on our little legend, red and purple, that's your heavy stuff. Getting to kind of those yellows and oranges, that's not, that's still strong, but nothing severe. And then definitely just your green and blues there are going to be your really light rain showers. So things wrapping up here with this. Short fused warning there for Sangamon County, but warranted there because it did look like we had some strong winds there. The storm itself kind of collapsing now and losing its punch, which will put an end to that severe weather threat, and this will just turn into a good rainmaker, maybe a few flashes of lightning and hearing some rumbles of thunder. But with all of that being said, I think we're going to start to wrap up for coverage here. We're going to get ready for our 9 o'clock newscast, WCIX, 9 p.m. Tune in over there with us, and we'll keep you up to date. I'm really not anticipating any additional warnings down the line with this. The only exception would be if this storm, as it goes over the Weather Service office and they record a 58-mile-an-hour gust, they may be like, whoa, there's still something there. But I think that even that storm is going to continue to weaken, and we'll probably be done with this here before too long. So nothing to get too worked up about, because I think that the threat is really starting to fall apart. And we thought this all along, that this probably wouldn't make it out there to I-57 in Champaign County as far as the severe weather goes. The marginal risk fit perfectly in the area here that we thought we would have some of that. So again, kind of lining up with what we were thinking all along with this. So that's some good news. So we'll wrap things up here for you tonight. If you've got any reports, make sure you send us a message. You can email us, weather@wca.com, Facebook, Twitter. We'll go on there and check that out in our messages or on any of our posts. And we'll share that with Weather Service. And let me see, just one last check with the Weather Service here. Looks like got some reports of power flickering in Lincoln. So no surprise there, because I think you're getting those strong gusts that are just kind of starting to come in over there. Down near the Broadwell area. But this, I mean, what's interesting is, the stronger area of this is going to come right over the Weather Service office, so they're going to be able to record what any of those wind speeds may be, but right now falling just below that severe criteria. I want to thank everybody who joined us here tonight. This will be the first of many, of course. I'm sure as we go into the rest of the severe weather season. May is the peak of severe weather season. We are only 1 week into April. I think we're going to be busy through May and even into June. So definitely keep tuning back in. We will keep you guys up to date. I'm going to get out of here, get ready for the 9 o'clock, and then, of course, 10 p.m. on WCIA as well. Thanks for joining us tonight. Severe weather coverage, always here to let you guys know what to expect whenever there are any warnings. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you guys on the newscast or next time severe weather is rolling through.